Okay, let's talk about one of the GOATs. We get a montage of Mark being depressed like always. We also see a few other characters taking care of the city, but then we see a future Hall of Famer, Oliver, going through that growth spurt. After seeing our hero's miserable life, we see Mark enter his house, just to see how much he has truly changed. But not even 2 seconds later, he gets a call to stop a villain. He tries to drag Oliver too. Damn, Mark, let him breathe a little bit. He wants Oliver to do it so he can clap Eve some more. You're not slick. After that, we see Cecil trying to recruit new people to the squad of trash. I mean the guardian of the globe. Rex also tries to be the leader because he's the smartest, but Cecil says no because he can't trust him anymore since he left the squad. Why is Cecil acting like he wasn't tripping after what he did to Mark? Anyone in their right mind would have left Cecil, you bald weirdo. After that, Invincible gets a fake call from a smart dinosaur. Then he gets jumped by him. And from the jump, you can tell that the art side got an upgrade. A little bit more shadows. But for now, I'll say that the animation in season 3 is a little bit better. Safe to say they're saving the good part for the best fights. Anyways, they start scrapping. Mark gets the dub. 2 dubs in a row for Mark? That ain't normal. So the dinosaur becomes a normal person. But then Mark starts tripping, almost taking a life. Yeah, to be honest, he had no valid reason to almost kill the man when he was obviously not in control. Anyways, Mark flies out to go see his girl for their first dinner. It's awkward as hell. Eve's dad is talking shit like Mark is a villain or something. I'm sorry, did Nolan kill a bunch of people or did Mark try to stop them? Like, I don't understand. Why is everybody on my boy's back? We also see Eve's dad talking about how Mark is putting Eve in danger. And look, I don't really like Eve's dad, but he has a point. Even though he's kind of a dick, this is in character of him. Him showing he has some type of pride and protection for his daughter is in character. We also see there's a problem with Eve's powers. We also see the old aliens from season 1 taking over a bunch of people's power. We also see a random green woman pulling up. Oliver and Mark squash their small beef. They understand that their job is hard, but with great power comes also great responsibility. Yeah, let me stop. We also see Debbie's boyfriend just finishing clapping Debbie's cheeks. You know for a fact this man feels super insecure when it comes to the bedtime activities. How the hell are you supposed to even outperform a Superman? I would be crying. I just realized a problem too. So, spoiler alert. In the comics, Paul is not that important and Debbie just ends up breaking up with him and then goes back with Nolan. But I can't imagine for a second that she would break up with Paul. So how are they gonna fix this? Yeah, they're gonna kill him. There's only one option. To kill him off, then maybe you can put back Debbie and Nolan back together. But let me get back on track. But can you even imagine being Oliver? You have super hearing and you gotta hear your mom and your superpowered brother doing it again and again. I know that man deep down is tired of hearing cheeks getting clapped every 12 seconds. So while Invincible and Eve are jumping the green hole, the other aliens are starting to take over the world. We also see Oliver with his new drip. Yeah, this might be the best drip so far. Okay, Oliver, I see you. Anyways, we see the green hole trying to take some power to help her race. Basically, she's filler. Yeah, at least the pink aliens are somewhat interesting. I could care less about the green hole. Like, come on, bro, just move on. After that, the Guardians of the Ass pulls up to help out, because if they can't stop them, the world will end. Around that time, Mark and Eve take care of the green hole. Also, I realized something. Every time that Mark is not fighting a Viltrumite, this nigga is getting holy. Like, they really need to stop nerfing him every 12 seconds. He low-key Jimmy Butler, only locking in during the playoff times. Anyways, Invincible pulls up to help out with the pink aliens. We get a few debates between Rex and the leader of the Guardian of the Ass, telling him not to go underground, which is completely stupid. No, Rex, don't go save lives. And I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't for Rex, they would have failed. I don't get how Rex is not the leader. His IQ is like really high or something. The heroes are about to fail the mission, so it's billions alive versus one. So Mark takes the life of the main alien, and if for some reason everybody's looking at him like he's crazy, like these niggas are tripping. It was that or die, gang. I swear to God, Mark can never get mad. It's like being rage rated by that one annoying ass kid. And when you do get mad, they be saying, hey bro, it was just a joke. Why are you taking everything so serious? Like 2 seconds ago, you said I was adopted and my mom had an OnlyFans. Anyway, Conquest wakes up and breaks out. And oh my God, Cecil, how stupid are you? You kept that man alive for this long? I know Mark is about to give one of the craziest teardowns to Cecil. Anyways, episode 2 starts with younger Nolan teaching a bunch of random kids. And bro was a menace. He almost off a child for almost not answering one question. Bro was tripping. We see Nolan's parents jumping him for his 18th birthday. Hey son, happy birthday. I'm gonna whoop your ass now. And this is the first fight I actually like so far in this season. So let me analyze this shit. The fight starts like this. Weave, block, punch, block, right, left, gets hit in the gut, swing, airball, does another swing, and Nolan catches that shit. Light work, no reaction. Other punch to the chest. His mom drops back in. Deflect, weave. She finally gets one lick in, gets grabbed, then get a nasty knee to the head. Damn, Nolan's mom. I wasn't familiar with your game, my bad. Nolan doesn't get a second of breathe. He gets him in a headlock. Nolan locks in. Uppercut kick, shoulder tap, weave, gut punch, elbow to the back. Nolan's mom charges a Superman punch to the guts. Got Nolan spitting blood like it's an anime. They start jumping him. Right, left kick, 2 stomach punch, left, right, left, then grab this man's neck like he's a dog. Headbutt, Nolan is struggling. I can't believe this is just another Sunday for Viltrumites. Yeah, they needed to go. He jumps right back in. Block left, other left, then back fist. Right, neck grab again. Nolan says get off, throws dust at her, putting a damn rock in her eyeball. She eats that. Nah, Nolan's mom was built different. Big wreck to her husband, and you would think, hey, let me catch my wife. Nope, he really said move, little nigga. Nolan charged after his father, punching him. Weave, big left, leaving a hole. Then grab his neck, and while he's grabbing his neck, his dad be saying, good. Man, if you don't get your freaky ass out of here, Nolan's mom is more mad than ever, beating him like he will to his son in the future. Damn, this shit was generational. Eventually, his dad says that's enough and that he proved himself. This was by far the best fight of the season. I really like how we got to see a younger Nolan. I think I get why people say that he's the best part of the show. Instantly, I was interested in his life when he was younger. No, this was by far the best part of the season and the episode. While Nolan is getting his first mission, random Viltrumite starts disconnecting from the server. Also, we see Thrag. Wait a minute. Thrag is older than Nolan? Thrag was already king when Nolan was a teen? That means Thrag was older? Since when? That doesn't make any sense. Why does Nolan age so badly? Did Debbie suck off all the youth out of Nolan? I'm just saying. Anyways, we see a setup of the Viltrumites getting unalive. I really like this scene. It had one of the coolest shots. Also see Nolan picking up his unalive father. Even though the Viltrumite had this coming, you can't help but feel a little bad for them. Anyways, we find out that Nolan's true mission was to repopulate his race, and the humans are the most compatible with the Viltrumites. We also find out that the old Viltrumite is the first betrayer of the race, and also the one who created the virus. Anyways, Alan and Nolan are starting to recruit a bunch of people. They recruit a weirdo with a space gun who survived with no food and water for 100 years. They're also planning to recruit. I'ma talk about you later, Nick. There was also another fight with some dinosaur alien monsters. They were really strong, but they couldn't fly. So I don't get why Nolan and Alan just flew off. But overall, the episode was really solid. The best out of the 3. I really liked it because we got to see a little bit more of Nolan. I think it's safe to say that Nolan is at the very least a top 3 character in the show. Episode 3, Titan. Oh my god, no! Am I the only one who's tired of seeing this? The more I see him, the less I care. But whatever. The Auto-Tune guy asks Titan to work together again, but Titan denies his offer. We also see Cecil talking shit about Mark again, about what he did a few episodes ago. And damn, get that nigga's dick out of your mouth, bro. It was one body or the world. After that, we get another scene of Rex talking shit about Mark for offing a villain. Oh my god, again? I don't think this is a hard debate. It's one life over billions. Rex, I thought you were smart. Out of all people, Rex is saying that. Bulletproof, my brother, tells Rex to chill out cause even he knew that he wasn't gonna make it. After that, we see the old man trying to flex his leadership to Rex. But again, if it wasn't for Rex, they would have probably failed. Swear to God, the Guardians of the Globe might be one of the worst superhero team ever. There's always one nigga that's talking shit about Mark and some dumbass leader.
Happily admitted to being the cause of previous Sequid-related catastrophes, I think we all agree that I had absolutely nothing to do with this particular disaster.
I wish he was dead. Anyway, we see my goat breaking down because he feels bad for taking a life. I'm fine with this. This is good character development. We also see E struggling with her powers. Cut to Titan trash ass finally getting attacked. I could care less for real. We get a sweet scene with Oliver and Debbie, but then Cecil calls for Mark again. Bro, can y'all get off this man's dick? Mark did the right choice, bro. While Cecil and Mark are talking, Sinclair pulls up, and we see Cecil crashing out. This Loki killed me, bro.
Sinclair, for the love of God, will you get the fuck out of here?
Bro does not like him at all. Anyways, instead of sending Invincible to help out Titan, we see Oliver on the side quest. After that, we finally get something interesting. We see the green aliens coming back. You know, the aliens that Nolan packed up a few seasons ago. And do you remember when everybody was talking crazy about Mark? Not even 2 seconds ago, the Guardians of the Glow are starting to off every single alien with no regards. Oh, but it's okay, they're aliens. That doesn't matter. Those are still lives. By their logic, they're worse than Mark. Anyways, Robot realizes that if the alien leaves again, they're gonna come back stronger. So he decides to go to their universe to stop them permanently. And we get another funny crash out from Cecil.
Fuck!
Bro is about to get a heart attack for real. After that, Mark backs up Oliver and decides to whoop Titan's ass. Get out of this show! Around the end of the episode, we see Eve also getting pregnant. Damn, Mark, go get the space milk, gang. Anyways, that's season 4 so far. Episode 1 was a 6 out of 10. Episode 2 was the best episode. I would give it an 8 out of 10. But I don't like how they randomly gender swapped Tech Jacket for no reason. I know there wasn't even a speck of a solid good reason to do that. They just did it to did it. It's like me randomly gender swapping Spider-Man. If you want a good woman character so badly, just create an original female character. Some of these people were fans of Tech Jacket for years, waiting for him to get animated, depicted well in the comics. Episode 3 was pretty bad, just people hating on Mark and a lot of setups. Episode 4 is useless. Skip the video to the good part. Well, Mark is being depressed like always. He gets a call to help out a mummy person or something. So yeah, this is another filler episode. Why are they wasting good animation for a side quest? Who the hell asked for a hell episode this late in the series? We see some demons fighting each other. For some reason, everybody is talking super slow too.
World doesn't have balance that humans pretend there is. No one keeping track of good deeds.
Can we move on? Anyway, Damien's sister dies in battle. Well, until she comes back 2 seconds later. Again, wasting good animation for a filler arc. Mark pulls up to help out Damien. We get random lore about how the Earth was created. Bro, when I'm telling you, this episode was boring as hell. It was really boring. I was damn near about to fall asleep. Anyways, Mark agrees to help out with the volcano hole. They have to retrieve some type of power to give it back to, I'm not saying his name. We get a few jokes that I don't care about. They get the crown. We get one out of the 2 jokes I actually like.
I'm not bowing to Satan.
They take care of the fire hole, and we get one last joke that I actually like. She runs away, but anyways, this episode was useless as hell. 1 out of... Oh, I almost forgot.
Be the most gorgeous superpowered super baby ever. Congratulations!
Why did they change his voice? I don't get it. They made him sound like really... Well, you know what I mean. I don't think it fits him. It's like making a black dude start rapping just because he's black. But whatever. Mark gets his old suit back, and I really needed to talk about this. I have a little problem with his suit. It's the gloves. They're so bad. And I never got why the black and blue suit had the bad gloves too. Just give him the full gloves. And I'm pretty sure in the comics, he gets the full gloves too. I don't know about you, but I felt like when he was getting the full gloves, he was maturing a little bit. It just looked way better than the old costume. And it felt like time was progressing, you know? Anyways, we see Debbie telling the kids that they're moving out. And to be real, they should have moved out the second that season 1 ended. Realistically, stay in a home after everything that happened. Eve pulls up to tell Mark that she's pregnant, but they get interrupted by the only important thing in the episode. Alan and Nolan pulls up for war. Also Damon, bro, I don't care. This episode in general was a good looking episode, but it was a massive waste of animation. This episode never needed to happen. And to be honest, I feel like they're really wasting the budget on actors. You don't need extremely well-known actors to play characters. You're just wasting money at this point, you know that, right? I have waited way too long for this episode. And I'm gonna be real. I was expecting to be disappointed. But no, I have almost nothing negative to say about this episode. The drama, golden. The action, golden. The characters, golden. And yes, I'm even talking about Tech Jacket. Yes, I was wrong. She's pretty cool. Now, mind you, I only read a little bit of the comics, but I'll explain why I don't mind her later. Anyway, let's get right back to Invincible episode 5. The episode starts with Nolan trying to convince Mark to go to war with him. I do like how the dynamic between Mark and Nolan is different. Mark hasn't forgiven Nolan, but he understands that he's trying. And I do like that Mark is being more responsible in this season, instead of sitting there in the hospital while doing nothing. So Mark agrees to go to war with Nolan. After that, we see the best scene of the episode, in my opinion. I absolutely love Debbie. So in the comics, Debbie never really moved on from Nolan. She's almost like a pet. She's super loyal to Nolan, to the point of blaming Mark for Nolan leaving. But in the show, Debbie is the reason why Mark is who he is. Because if you think about it, besides the reason that Mark wanted to become like his dad, why did he really want to become a hero in the comics? Compared to the show, it's because of Debbie. She is the backbone of the family. At the point, she is my favorite mom character, period. She showed that emotional understanding that most dudes don't get in life. She cries, but she has a real backbone. She doesn't take any shit. When she opens the door and leaves it open, that's love right there. She is willing to hear out Nolan. The scene was really well made. They showed that emotionally that Nolan is trying, but because of his background, it's harder for him. Nolan truly apologized, but who in the right mind will forgive him? Nobody except for his family maybe. I do like that Debbie admits that she misses Nolan, and that shows strength and realism from her, but she does call him out on his bullshit. The voice acting for Debbie was amazing too. Nolan leaves without even saying hi to Oliver. Again, something that I love. Nolan is straight up ashamed of seeing him. Oliver was done dirtier than Mark. He grew up without a father, and Nolan basically doesn't really care about him. I mean, he does now, but Oliver was gonna be the replacement. Oliver wasn't really born out of love. He was just stuck in a sucky situation. We get to see Tech Jacket, and honestly, I was expecting way worse, but she's fine. Matter of fact, I kinda like her. She has good chemistry with everybody in the episode. I would like her to act a little bit older, but for the most part, I like her. They could have said the original Tech Jacket died or something, but no. He straight up isn't a thing, which is kinda messed up, but hey, I have full trust in the show. After she's done beating Bane from Batman, Alan asks her to join the war. She agrees. After that, we see Oliver and Debbie talking about the situation. I just love Oliver's reaction.
Dad already left and didn't even wait to see me? What the hell?
We also see Oliver's best scene talking his shit.
Just like I helped with Conquest and all those evil versions of you, so shut up!
Okay, Oliver, my goat. Now again, in the comics, I think it's safe to say that Oliver is nothing like in the show. In the comic, Oliver is straight out a weirdo. He doesn't like humans, and he doesn't want to fit in with them. He's borderline crazy, but sometimes he acts like a kid. In the show, he's a real kid. You can tell that Debbie raised him. He maybe has the same beliefs as the comic version, and sometimes has a dark side, but he really wants to be a hero. In the comics, dude just wanted to throw hands. I love how he wants to protect the Earth because he loves Mark and Debbie so much. And logically speaking, he's right to pull up. It's either that or everyone dies. Again, amazing scene from Oliver. After that, we see the family just chilling for a day. Nolan pulls up to the old man, and I like this scene. The old dude is scared of Nolan. You can tell he doesn't even want to be around him. After Mark is done clapping Eve's cheeks, we also see Eve being worried because she has a kid on the way. She's not trying to have an Oliver Part 2 situation. When they're leaving, they say their goodbye. And I know this is off topic. Why the hell does Oliver need to bring some homework to a war? Like, damn. Hey son, I know you might die soon, but don't forget your homework. You can tell Debbie is Asian. I'm crying. After that, Oliver and Mark pulls up, and we see another great scene. Oliver checking Nolan, which is completely valid. You could have at least tried to see him, Nolan. Damn. We see a small scene with Oliver and Tech Jacket. And okay, theory time. I think that's why they made Tech Jacket a female. To do the same thing with Ray and Rex. Why not with Oliver? Give Oliver a better girlfriend with Tech Jacket. It just makes way more sense. Tech Jacket is always in space in the comics. Oliver might be too. And to be real, I don't really care about Oliver's girlfriend in the comics. She's just a random bug. That way, if Tech Jacket and Oliver finish together, Tech Jacket can have a way bigger role in the story. In short, I ship it. We see everybody getting ready for war. We also see Nolan being depressed, thinking about Debbie. A few seconds later, they finally get attacked by Viltrumites. It's time for the good part. We see Conquest pulling back up for round 2. Look at him cheesing. Then Oliver says, "We beat you once, we'll beat you again." What you mean we, gang? This you? Anyway, Steve jumps Mark while Oliver tries to get back. Of course, bro gets bitch slapped. Then gut punch. Oliver starts going crazy in those guts. On pause. With a back shot. Pause. But then he gets grabbed by the head. Oliver almost loses his life if it wasn't for Nolan. Mark takes care of Steve real quick. Left knee to the face. Alan tries to handle one of them, but that doesn't work. Headbutt. Then Drew grabs his head and starts swinging him like a damn basketball. Steph Curry can relate. Tech Jackson catches Allen, then pulls up the Glock. Bro dodges that, block, right, switch to Nolan and Conquest throwing hand. Conquest talking that shit. You know damn well Nolan doesn't want to fight, bro. Because Conquest is one of those dudes who asks you to hit you, then laughs that shit off. Mark pulls up to save his dad. Mark is like, "Hey, didn't I pack you up like a few episodes ago? You didn't do shit, gang. Eve carried your ass. I bet, watch this." Mark dives at Conquest. This time you can tell he's doing damage. Right, left, right. Mark is not done, doing multiple elbows. Oliver gets sneaked by Steve. Oliver is out of his league, getting hit again. Bro is not ready for the NBA, go back to the G League. He does get one leg kick and gets saved by Nolan. Bro has the audacity to say, "I don't need your help." It's like seeing Bronny telling his dad he's better than him. Oliver, I love you, gang, but you're way out of your league. We see Oliver needed to breathe, so he goes to a nearby planet. We also see Mark talking his shit.
Tell me all your deepest feelings again.
Now Conquest got her off the whole family after getting cooked by this guy who loses every time. It's so funny. But Conquest is low-key a hater, going for a sneak attack on Oliver. We get this fire shot of Conquest. Mark is locked in. Bro will not let go of Conquest's neck. Conquest hits him with multiple hits to the guts. But Mark is still not letting that shit go. Conquest is trying to shake him off by flying around, but that doesn't work. Bro really wants him gone. You know Mark is about to crash out on Cecil after this. Alan and Tech Jacket manage to run away. Back to Conquest and Mark. We see amazing animation. Mark slamming bro to the ground. Just look at the detail on his face. You can tell bro is trying his best to unalive him. Conquest starts to shake him off, slamming him to the ground. But Mark doesn't let go. Conquest is desperate, hitting Mark in the guts again and again. But Mark is still not letting go. He even gets punched in the face. Conquest lifts him off, trying anything at this point, beating him, slamming him around, but again, Mark doesn't let go. Mark is so desperate, he even starts biting Conquest's fingers off. I don't think I ever saw this man locked in this much in his life. Then Conquest hits him with a crazy stab through the stomach, ripping this man's guts out, like in detail too. This part had me looking away. That's how brutal the scene was. There was also no music in this part. They really wanted to show you the scene for what it was. Eventually, Conquest stops breathing. Marx finally gets a real W, but the war is only getting started. And after episode 5, I wasn't expecting too much out of episode 6. It's a damn shame because the Viltrum War is maybe the peak of Invincible. Anyways, everyone is getting ready for war. Cut to Trag talking to a damn skull like a crazy person. Cut to Nolan making a damn grave for the men who abuse his 2 sons. I swear, Nolan doesn't want to be forgiven. Even though you knew bro for years. I don't think a father in their lifetime will ever bury a man who beat the shit out of their son. Obviously, Oliver is mad as hell. Love this change from the comment. Oliver isn't like always glazing Nolan every 10 seconds. If you really think about it, Oliver doesn't even know Nolan, so it really does make a lot of sense if he doesn't like him at all. Because even if Oliver is like 2 years old, in his mind, he probably left like years ago. To him, he grew up 15 years without his father. Noah says they have to stay in the planet for a while so that Mark can recover. Oliver is mad as hell. Imagine being stuck with your deadbeat father, no hub, no nothing, and at his age, I would be dying. Cut to Tech Jacket and Alan still playing video games, planning to escape. You also see Nolan try to bond with Oliver by trying to feed him. Obviously, Oliver is not gonna open up that easily, and you know what was the first thought of Nolan? To whoop his ass. But no, he really wanted to train him, and I love every time that Oliver has a chance to bring up that Nolan is a deadbeat, he takes that chance. Of course Nolan wins, but we get a good scene between father and son, and I just love the emotion. I know some of y'all relate to Oliver's situation. This is why I said before, if you really think about it, Oliver's life is really trash. Cut to Alan and Zoe trying to escape. Alan calling the Viltrumite nerds. Alan, this you? You needed a Zykai boost to hang with them. You're not that guy, bro. Steve and the NPC Viltrumite tries to jump them, but after a little bit of struggle, the space nigga shoots the NPC. And damn, what happened when it eventually hits another planet or something? Steve leaves off some "this isn't over" type vibe. Oliver and Nolan are finally bonding over food, but Nolan tries to connect even more by bringing up his mother. Oliver shuts that shit down. I just love how different Nolan acts around Oliver compared to Mark back in the season 1. It's almost like Oliver really wanted him to be a good person, but already knew that deep down was a bad person. They see that Mark isn't recovering well, so they need to get some food. They find our insect mother with some egg. Nolan tries to end her, and Oliver uses his brain to not to kill the only source of food for Mark. Cut to Alan, we see the GOAT, Battle Beast. They talk about the war, they're getting their ass whooped to be honest. They need our star players. Nolan opens up about his side chick, how going to the planet was a mistake, but the birth for Oliver wasn't a mistake. Oliver opens up to his dad for the first time. Like I said, the only person that would realistically forgive Nolan would be his family. Cut to a montage of the bench player actually winning the war. I'm sorry, are Viltrumite frauds now? We even see Drag bitching with that trash ass voice. I'm sorry, but that doesn't fit, bro. I don't mind him talking to the skull or making him look crazy, but his voice just doesn't fit him. We get a weird scene between Nolan and Oliver talking about clapping some bug cheeks.
It made me feel, I don't know, fizzy inside.
Fizzy? You mean... Oh.
No, bro, don't do it, please. Eventually, Mark finally wakes up. We do get like a really cool scene of Mark worrying that his family was actually dead. We also get to see the new design and Oliver's fake ass beard. I can't even be judging, bro. I can barely grow what he has. And let's talk about Mark's new look. Well, to be honest, it's okay. Obviously in the comics it's better, but it's still okay. He kind of looks like a crackhead, but he did survive like a big ass stab to the gut, so that's fine. And I do like how he basically has the same hair as his dad. I do like how the show is paying attention to how much Mark really does look like Nolan. And I did realize a few small details compared to the comics and the show. Oliver looks a bit older. At the beginning of the war, he looks more like 14, and around the end, he looks more around 16 to 17. But here, he looks exactly the same age with like a few pubes in his face. So maybe they will actually slow down his aging like way more compared to the comics. Because if you really think about it, him looking like a 30-year-old and older than Mark doesn't really make sense if you compare it to other half bug, half Viltrumites we will see in the future. And we see Optimus Prime getting attacked by the Viltrumite. And it's time to talk about my problem with the episode. The fights in this episode were really mediocre to bad. Now, if I showed you like any shot from this battle, would you really believe me this was a war? Anyway, Strag sends his minion to fight Optimus Prime, and from the jaw locked in, sneaking dude with a right hook. And hold on, why is bro built like that? He's not down, punching him multiple times. Craig says get off, kicking bro. They start scrapping around the city. Alan runs it back with Steve, already having him on a chokehold. You see bro, this what happens when you don't work out. Cause how you obese and a Viltrumite at the same time, bro? Steve elbows Alan and dives at him. Left, right, weave. Tech Jacket gets jumped by a bunch of NPCs. And I know some people be saying that she's a fraud and everything, but if you really think about it, and they actually like read a few panels of the Invincible War, he was a fraud in that one too. He was struggling most of the time. So if you're okay with that in the comic, you should be okay with that with the show. Zoe's about to get bodied, but gets a clutch shave by Mark. Wait. How is Mark stronger than Nissa? If you know, you know. Anyways, after ore farming, the crew locks in, taking care of business. Mark asks Oliver to destroy the ship, and man, this was way better in the comics. I'm sorry, this looked really bad. The ship is not even being destroyed. They're just putting a bunch of animation to it. We also see Thrag whining like a little baby bitch boy. I know I said it before, but Thrag is really badly casted for me. He sounds like an overworked father who just found out that his street kids doesn't belong to him. Thrag runs away with the Viltrumite. What? Drag is on fraud watch. The crew catches the broken ship, struggling. Make it make sense, bro. Mark and Nolan can move big ass rocks in season 1, but they're struggling to move a damn ship. Like, come on, bro, lock in. And what the hell is that pose, Oliver? Lock in, gang. You're in the war. What type of yippee ass pose is that, bro? The crew prepares themselves to go to Viltrum, and we get one of the best jokes in the show, and that was the episode. I really loved all the drama and everything else. Everything except for the animation. It could have been way better. To be honest, I think the demon episode would look even better than this episode. And this is when I feel like I'm really getting disappointed with the show. They could have waited at least 2 years to give out the season. I'm sure people would have been patient enough to just wait another year for this season. And I'm not blaming the animators, because if you know anything about animation, it's not about the animators, it's about the time they're given and the amount of people they're actually animating the show. There's also a bunch of wasted money that are going to the cast when it comes to the voice acting. They're just casting famous people because they're famous. Hey guys, who should cast for the security guard in season 1? I don't know, it's a minor character, doesn't matter. What about John Hamm? Oh my god, bro, you're terrible. Get your priorities straight, bro. I love you as a writer and all, but like, god damn. Oh yeah, the fat alien is the traitor, but who cares? Okay, let's get to the real deal. Episode 7. We start with an amazing backstory with Thrag. We see the top of the tops of Viltrumites, talking about their slaves rebelling. Thrag and the others are clearly not okay with this. Optimus really tries to defend the slaves, but obviously like the OG Emperor checks him real quick. And because of that, Optimus slimes the OG Emperor. Trags becomes the new emperor, and I kind of like that even though we didn't even see that much screen time between the both of them, Trag and the OG emperor really has this messed up father and son relationship. It would explain why Trag is such a messed up person. The first order that Trag gives out is to slime the weaker Viltrumite, and this was pure chaos. I can't even show you most of this shit, bro. Some of these people are getting their back broken. You even see some kids jumping another kid. Oh, yo, for real? Imagine getting jumped like that as a kid. And who decided to jump that kid specifically? Did he broke your Nintendo Switch too? Good, that console is trash, gang. During the purge, we see Trag just sitting there or farming, and from the jump, we already see that Trag is way cooler in this episode. I just wish his head wasn't a damn egghead. Anyways, after the purge, we see the biggest cock tease I ever saw this season. Trag versus Conquest. Why would you show me something I can't have it, bro? And it would make so much sense that Trag and Conquest would fight here, and that's how Conquest was afraid of Trag, because he gained his respect from fighting him. But no, Conquest just bows down like a little baby. Like, that's not in character for him to just bow down like that. After the backstory, we see the crew getting ready to throw hands, and I'm gonna call Optimus on this. You know Trag. Nolan knows Trag also. They know how strong he is, and you only brought 8 people. Oh, y'all insane? Y'all brought 1 support, 1 coach, 1 that doesn't count, 6 dude, and a G League player. You guys are outnumbered by like 30 Viltrumites. Give me those drugs, because what the hell are you even smoking, gang? We see the rest of the crew just bonding and chilling. And Oliver, I like you, gang, but why are you acting like Titan isn't bit like that? Everyone is saying that he is. It's like seeing Patrick Beverly saying that he's better than LeBron James. No, stop acting like a star player, gang. We see everybody getting ready. Nolan, a vet player, telling everybody to lock in. And Oliver kind of brushes this off. Oliver, what's wrong with you? I've never seen a guy with a losing record acting like this. We do see a cool scene of the Graysons hugging. Nolan struggling to say I love you. It's perfect for his character, and I think this is where specifically Mark really truly forgives Nolan. You could tell that before he was a bit more hands-off. Now he's smiling around him like back in season 1. The battle is about to begin. The crew is trying to be sneaky, but that doesn't work. Trag is waiting outside, just chilling. Another Viltrumite ambushed them. It's boxing time. Optimus gets backshot. Battle Beast is ready. He's hyped as hell. Weave, swing up to Optimus, trying to get his get back. Deflect, weave. She swings her hair again, but he grabs that shit, getting close, hitting her with a headbutt, then swinging her body. Battle Beast jumps in, going for a left, right, but then gets hit in the face, sending bro flying. Nolan tries to go for a Trag, but Anissa pulls up, giving him a punch to the cuts. Nolan didn't like that, tells her to get the hell out of here. It's Tech Jacket's turn. She's on fraud watch. Alright, she hits a random with her dart, nerfing them, giving an easy lick for an Allen. Oliver and Mark Mark are dropping Steve, and let's be real, Steve is a fraud, bro. He hasn't won one fight unless he was sneaking somebody or jumping, bro. If you're getting pressed by a skinny 15-year-old and you're a big-ass 300-pound veteran player, you're a fraud. This is why you gotta stay in the gym, bro. Krieg tries to get his get back, ripping Optimus Prime's back out. Pause. He headbutts him and grabs his arm and breaks it like a pencil. That's 2 losses for Craig, bro. Oliver gets pressed by a bench player. He swings, right weave, then gets hit in the guts. Damn, Oliver. Oliver is like D-Rose. His first year was his prime, bro. He's been taking L's, bro. Mark gets distracted, getting his neck grabbed. Then gets multiple rights on the face. He says get off. Mark gets right back to it. Going for a right, but Steve weaves that shit. Then does a gut punch. And Issa goes for a hit, but that's lightweight for Nolan. She comes back with a karate kick, connecting. She's not letting bro breathe, hitting him with a back shot on pause. Then hits bro with a right. She's feeling herself, talking that shit. Goes for another right, weave. Then Nolan does a big right. Battle Beast is trying to join the Weave Nation. Weave, but gets slashed. But that Loki turned him on. He wants more. Freaky ass. He goes for a fake, but weaves Smooth Criminal, then hits her with a big right. Mark gets grabbed by a random. Coming in clutch is Space Nigga. Campaign in the back, sniping bro. Look at Thrag trying to aura farm. He doesn't even know if it would have hit him, it would have been over, bro. Even Krieg's know. He says to end him fast, but the space dude is smart, brings some damn dogs to jump the Viltrumite. And damn, these things are OP, taking care of all the NPC Viltrumites. Nolan finally sees his chance, going for Thrag, but Thrag is trying to recover his aura loss, moving 1 centimeter, and it has a wide open hit. And you would think, hey, Thrag is strong, but not that strong. This was a rude awakening, bro. He gets sent flying to the damn planet like a damn Dragon Ball Z character. And the second that bro was hit with this move, Nolan said, alright, okay, let's talk this out. Nolan, Loki doesn't want to fight anymore. I do love them talking. Nolan and Thrag wants the same thing, but not in the same way. Thrag really thinks that he's the nice guy, which is scarier than a villain that knows that he's evil. After Nolan and Thrag are done talking, Thrag does something absolutely insane. He charges a punch so strong that it does a mini tornado, bringing Nolan closer and pushing him to the chin. If I would have been Nolan, that would have been a wrap, buddy. There's no way that these guys are winning, bro. It's like asking a G League player to play against Michael Jordan, bro. Nolan gets sent flying up to space for some reason that I don't even know. Oliver goes for Thrag. It's like seeing the trash player from the squad pressing the top player in the world. Oliver goes for a punch, but Thrag catches that shit, breaking his damn wrist and taking that jaw. No more Max Murin for him, I guess. Mark pulls up talking that shit at the point that everyone stops fighting and watches Mark lose all of his aura he gained from this season. And if I'm talking shit in a fight and I punch him with my whole strength and bro doesn't move and it hurts me, yeah, wrap it up, bro. Yeah, I'm quitting from being a superhero and joining the dark side. Nolan was so pissed at that last attack that he said, I can't beat you, but I can't destroy your planet. He would have for sure wouldn't done that if he would have been able to win the 1v1. He's even ignoring Oliver at 1 HP, bro. Battlebee does go for a big hit, but Craig trying to be nonchalant, giving him 1 hit to the guts. Just look at his face. I'm not trying to be here, head eyes. Now, I'm gonna need you to pay attention because this was by far one of the most disrespectful things that I've ever seen. Mark is doing a barrage of hits. Craig is just standing there and he says that's enough left. And just like a normal hit, Mark is already about to pass out. Gut punch, neck grab, and big slap. Nah, this is too much. People will act insane when they already know they're stronger than you. But here's the thing, Dragon isn't even done, bro. Battle Beast comes up to jump in. He's super hype. And you know what happens? Bro said no. What do you mean no? That's Battle Beast, gang. You are tripping. Oh. Nolan pulls up to grab the head of some random swing and says, I like a cut, G, to another one. Why is everybody so disrespectful in this episode? Space Zeus shoots the planet. It's Mark, Invincible, and Optimus Prime locking in, getting deep inside of the planet, destroying it. And this is what happens when you're overfarming too much, Trag. He could have stopped them easily, but he was just standing there, bro. Optimus is feeling himself, telling everybody to give up, but Trag was on crash out mode. He had this man on tears, bro. Do you know how much you have to piss off a man to have him in tears? And Trag zips at Optimus, instantly ending, bro. then dives at Nolan, punching him multiple times. Nolan does a quick knee, but that's nothing. Thrag goes right back, giving him back shot, putting Nolan in the same combo that he did to his son in season 1. Nolan weaves the last hit. Mark dives at him, but Thrag does an elbow, then a gut punch, going right back to Nolan. Left, big right, left, right, smack, left, just going crazy. The others are scared as hell, running away. It's just Mark and Nolan. Mark gets hit in the throat. My imaginary girlfriend can relate. Nolan tries one last thing. He tries to grab Nolan, but Thrag smacks his hand away, breaking it instantly. He goes for Mark now, and he has this man running away. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I never saw Mark running away even if the whipping was that bad. That's how strong Thrag is, bro. Look at Thrag's face. He grabs his hair, but Nolan saves him, and they have the audacity to just stay and start talking. And you know what this man Mark said? How are you gonna beat him? Gang, what do you mean beat? You need to figure out how to survive. Thrag stabs Nolan to the stomach. It's over. He's about to end Mark, but for some reason, he doesn't. Why? Because Mark is the main character. I'm not even joking. There is no good reason why Mark should survive this. They run off, and Nolan and Mark survives. They find Oliver, they wake up, and eventually Mark figures out that maybe that the other Viltrumite went to Earth. And yeah, that was the episode. Well, instantly, that was a 10 out of 10. Still don't like Thrag's voice actor, but even if the voice acting wasn't good, the Orphan was amazing and the battles were amazing. Thrag is really interesting. I do like how he doesn't think he's the villain and he thinks he's actually doing good. I did like Tag Jacket in this episode. I know I didn't really talk about her that much, but this time she had like a solid role like the healer. So, the last episode, we start with Mark, imagining what the Viltrumite could do to Earth. The animation and the lighting are amazing in this scene. To be honest, around this episode specifically, the lighting is way better. They put shadows and great lighting to the episode. Eventually, Mark and Nolan and Tech Jacket gets to Earth. We see a small scene of Mark pulling up to see Debbie. We see the first scene of Mark PTSD after the war. And again, really love this about the episode. If you really think about it, just a few years ago, Mark was just a kid. So him changing that much over 4 seasons is really good character development. But then we get a scene I'm a little bit more mixed about. Well, we finally get to see Debbie and Nolan again. Well, the scene really started really strong, just Debbie talking to Nolan and reminding him just how much of a piece of shit he is. But then Nolan gets weirdly aggressive, like really aggressive. He stops her from like walking away and saying that he needs to give her a chance. But no, Nolan is a space Nazi. Debbie doesn't owe him anything. But for some reason, the scene is made out to make Debbie like considering this. This man has killed thousands of people in front of her and called her a pet. There is no logical reason why she should forgive him. And you know what happened? What we just find out? Debbie broke up with Paul. Holy shit. That was terrible. We don't even get to know like a valid, solid reason why Paul and Debbie broke up. Paul was basically perfect to Debbie. The only logical reason why Debbie would break up with Paul is because he doesn't have that super dick. And even though that sounds funny, let's be real. Anyone who has been physically intimate with that one ex that used to be really good in bed will come back crawling to that one ex. And I do hope they talk about this and like how weird this is. Paul is perfect for Debbie, but for some reason they just broke up. There is no like valid reason why they broke up. Anyways, eventually Mark talks to Eve. Eve has obviously gained weight, but this is very realistic coming from her. She was stressed and thought that she was never gonna see Mark, so I'm fine with this. But then we get another uncomfortable scene. Eve has gotten an abortion. Like always, I'm pretty sure the internet is pretty mixed on this opinion. Well, I'm not gonna talk about my opinion specifically, but I am gonna talk about how the scene is very mature. I did really wanted to see the true opinion of Mark. It didn't feel like he was giving his opinion, but him being so devastated that he wasn't here for Eve was very realistic. And Eve trying to say that it's okay when Mark clearly knows this isn't okay. I was just expecting like a little bit more debate between Eve and Mark when it comes to abortion. But hey, again, pretty solid scene. Now we get to my favorite scene. Mark is just around the sky and we do get to see like an amazing scene of Mark panicking that Thrag is actually in his face. For anyone who has PTSD, I'm sure this is very scary when you're a victim, when you keep imagining that one person that traumatized you, and then the day finally comes when they do actually come, and you're so confused of if this is reality or a fake illusion again. Mark is panicking, trying to fight him, again getting embarrassed, losing all his aura, but that's not the point of the scene. Thrag really showed me his true potential in this episode specifically. Not in the episode in episode 7. Yes, that was very entertaining, but we actually get to see Thrag thinking like a normal person. He's still a terrible person, but he shows that like he actually does want peace for now. So basically the Vertramites are here to repopulate, and they say they're not gonna hurt anybody and they're just gonna chill out. I just love how Thrag is shown and his character, how he is. He's basically calm as hell, and even though he could have just killed Mark right there, because he's a Veltramite and sees him as family, he's not gonna do that. He is still trying to find peace between his people. That is amazing character development for Thrag. And even though I still think it's stupid that Mark didn't die in episode 7, this kind of redeems it, because now we get to see why Thrag didn't do it. There is no doubt in my mind that Thrag truly cares about his race and really wants the best for it. Even though the way he's doing it, it's pretty shitty, I do have to appreciate his character development. This is by far the most detailed antagonist so far. Also, I know this is off subject, but it is hilarious to see Krieg being one of the most serious Vertramite, but the second he gets on Earth, you can already tell he's gonna become another type of person. Bro has found cigarettes, motorcycle, and women, and bro is already switching up. Anyways, the season ends with Mark and Thrag making the deal. To be honest, this episode was simply well made. I love the conversation between Thrag and Mark and how much Mark is traumatized by the war. Now let me break it down when it comes to the small things. Oliver. Well, I'm starting to see a few flaws with Oliver. Oliver used to have like a really good potential in season 3, and him losing from time to time was completely okay, but now it's getting kind of ridiculous. I still don't like his performance when it comes to season 4. He was just being straight up stupid. Bro hasn't won a real fight once. Let's be real. I'm still hoping for a better character development, but for now, Oliver's on Friday watch. Mark. Mark is amazing in this season. Even though it's small changes, I love just how much he has changed compared to season 1. If you compare Mark's demeanor, voice acting, compared to season 1, it's a complete different person. You can see the edge and just how tired he is mentally. Debbie was at his peak, especially in the beginning of the episode, but I am starting to see a few flaws. Her just randomly like packing up her bags to see Oliver with her ex-husband that killed thousands of people. I understand how Mark can maybe forgive his dad because it's his fucking dad, but Debbie, it's a little bit weird. Nolan. Now on the offside, I really do love Nolan. He hasn't completely changed. He has shown that he is still an aggressive person, and he is trying really hard, but because he is an alien, it's really hard for him to see the boundaries and see just how much he's fucked up. Imagine growing up and thinking that everything that you're doing is the greatest thing to ever do, but then you get a reality check and to see just how much of a terrible person you are. That takes a lot of time to process this. Nolan didn't have a chance, and he is trying, but that doesn't mean anyone needs to forgive him, right? I am really excited to see just how they're gonna handle the relationship between Debbie and Nolan. Now, for my biggest problem, the animation. Again, there's some times where the animation is absolutely amazing, but everyone that knows anything about animation knows that the animation can be way better. This isn't the fault of the animators, and more of the fault of the showrunners and maybe Amazon, I'm not sure. But hiring and wasting money on celebrity actors is dumb, and I'll keep saying it. It is very, very dumb to do this. And I'm sure Invincible fans wouldn't mind waiting an extra year just to see an extra polished season. They made this season in a year and it looks this good. This is very good for a 1-year season, but I'm expecting more. I feel like it was really affecting the war arc, because when it's a war, you need a lot of battles, and sometimes the anime animation was straight up doo-doo. Another thing, the power scaling. The power scaling is pretty terrible. Any great writer needs to worry about the power scaling, and this is getting pretty ridiculous. Invincible getting his ass whooped by a bunch of street level thugs is not normal anymore. I don't care what you say, whatever the other people say, power scaling is important. Now, I don't think it's the most important thing in the show. Obviously, it's the writing and the characters, but you do need to take care of the writing. If I see Mark beating Conquest in Beyond Conquest level, I'm not expecting him to struggle up around a bunch of street level thugs. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that was the episode, and that was the season, and don't forget to subscribe. See you around.